Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. For those who are returning, I appreciate each and every one of you. And for those who are new, my name is Sybil. All of the readings on this channel are timeless. Not every reading will resonate with every person, right? They are general collective readings. So please take what resonates and lovingly leave the rest. I'm going to go ahead and get started because when I first started recording these and putting them on YouTube, it was to share my own journey, right? It was in hopes that some of the messages that I receive for my own life, right, might resonate and help others kind of understand where they may be, those who resonate. Now, I pulled these cards, and I will be honest, I have left them sitting here for a couple of days. It's taken me a bit of a moment um, because Spirit gave me the title Rewilding. And rewilding, in the beginning, I had one kind of obvious connotation to it for me, right? But then I've had something happen in my own life that has changed everything for me. Everything. And it really changed the way I look at rewilding. Because in this reading, this this tower isn't what is collapsing life, right? It's collapsing a version of my own nature, right? I'm just going to make this personal because this one does touch me deeply, and a lot of them that I share do. So I'm just going to keep this um like personal. And for those who resonate, please drop drop a emoji or a comment in the comment section. And I appreciate your patience. So I had to ask, what if the thing collapsing isn't my life, right? It's that part of me that I forgot, that nature in me that I forgot. And this first card here, this is the Two of Pentacles. Now, in this Two of Pentacles, I'm going to try to hold it a little closer, right? The figure appears to be suspended above the city, balancing, right? Rather than kind of standing on solid ground. She's elevated. So I don't see someone who's overwhelmed here. I don't see someone that's just simply juggling their responsibilities. What I see here is someone that's kind of standing between two worlds, right? One foot remains right here, if you can see, in the structured world, right? The predictable life. She's still connected to what is familiar, while the other foot is already kind of stepping towards something unknown, something that can't be controlled, right? And for me, that's rewilding. Like it begins in that uncomfortable space where we haven't fully left what is familiar, but we can't really return to it, right? Um, Not in the same way. So it really begins when that old life no longer really fits, right? But the new life hasn't yet fully revealed itself. Okay, if that's making sense. So, Spirit's really asking us to remain flexible here, not not because things are uncertain, but because we are changing. We are changing. And for some, it may be everything within you, right? It's like, and it feels sudden. So, the magician right here, right, kind of fascinates me in this card. I'm going to give you a closer look there, right? Because instead of commanding the elements like we see in your common rider waite interpretations, she's surrounded by lilies, cranes, reeds, flowing water, right? And nature in this isn't separate from her. It's like it's responding to her. So it tells me that manifestation isn't always about force, right? It's not about control. It's not about making something happen here. Sometimes it's just remembering that creative power, right? And that it returns to us when we stop resisting. She's not resisting this. There's no resistance. There's no stress. There's no overwhelm. She's holding the infinity, right? It's almost like this is her compass. This is her guide. So it's like spirit saying, it's not about manufacturing our life, right? It's about cultivating it. And this magician reminds me that our power has never truly come from controlling, right? It comes from remembering those pieces of us, who we truly are. And she's not forcing anything into existence. Everything around her is alive. Nature's responding to her because she's in harmony with it. It's like this balancing, this going with the flow is bringing that harmony to this magician, bringing her into alignment. Um, yeah, yeah. So it's like there's an invitation here to stop resisting that part of us which has been kind of quietly waiting, right? Beneath the expectations, beneath the fear, the survival. And then we have the Eight of Wands. And it comes with movement, right? A lot of times this can be quick, but in this Eight of Wands, it's not a frantic movement. She's not running and she's not forcing or scrambling to make something happen. It's like this is a natural flow here. And most decks with the Eight of Wands will show like arrows flying through the air, right? But here we see these are parasols. There is movement, there's wind, there's shelter, there's protection, there's grace. So the energy might be moving quickly, but there's still no panic in this. It's almost like momentum, right? It's almost like there was a surrendering. that brought in this harmony, that then entering the flow with no resistance, the momentum is picking up, right? Mm. You know, another thing that comes to mind, a lot of times we can see migration, right, as an act of survival. Animals, right? They'll migrate so that they can have the resources and the sustenance. But this isn't survival. It's really not survival. It's like birds don't force themselves to migrate, right? They're just following this inner knowing. And so there comes a moment, it's like when we just simply know, like our soul just knows. It knows when to leave, it knows when to stay, it knows when there's been a shift within us. And then we have justice, which is standing here among those skyscrapers, right? So this city hasn't disappeared. I don't believe that this is about leaving civilization, right? Like it's not about rejection. It's it's not about rejecting responsibility or removing ourselves from the world. This is like bringing your, you know, I would say bringing your authentic nature, but it goes deeper than that for me, right? Like, I feel like your true, organic, divine nature, right? Justice here, this is the balance between what I feel is instinct and a discernment. It's like heart and mind. It's like that wild, that rewilding and wisdom. That's wisdom. Hmm. So, this justice to me, it's not like it's punishment, right? It's a balance, it's truth. And maybe asking us to kind of look honestly at where we've been living out of habit instead of that authenticity, right? Instead of that flow where we've kind of accepted a sort of survival as our identity. And I'll get to that here in just a minute. Because in this, I really feel like the big question is, where did we forget our own nature, right? It's where this is really where something unexpected happened to me when around the time that I pulled these cards. Um, so I'll share this experience with you. Many of you out there may know that about 9 years ago, I suffered a devastating spinal injury. I mean, they called it catastrophic and terminal. You know, it It just didn't sound good. It didn't feel good. Didn't look good. And I was told there were a lot of things that I would never do again. I was told there were a lot of things that I wouldn't be able to do. And I was also told that the pain that I was feeling would never leave me, right? That if the pain left, it would be because I was paralyzed. And in the beginning, you know, I learned to stand, I learned to walk, I learned to bend, but carefully, right? To take those hikes, but nothing extreme, to go kayaking, to drive, to continue serving others, right? From that place in my heart. And I really learned how to pour love into myself deeply enough that I could stand, that I could move, that I could keep living. And I know this may sound strange to some of you, but this is where I say love is the reason I do walk. But it doesn't negate the fact that I also learned how to live with pain every second of every day, to the point that I became grateful for it. I became grateful because the pain allowed me to know that I was not paralyzed, right? Every time it would just get so excruciating that I couldn't think, I couldn't speak. You could be talking to me, I couldn't understand what you were saying. And that was almost a daily basis. Come the end of the day, you know, the pain would be consuming and I would fall into that surrender and I would allow my spirit, my heart to kind of carry me off and drift off into some semblance of sleep, right? It was difficult. But then there came here recently, not too long ago, a moment where I hurt my back. God only knows what I did, but I did it and I did it good. And there's a band of pain that wrapped around my lower hips, moved down my thighs, that saddle area. And that was always the sign they told me it was time to go to the emergency room, but I didn't. I didn't because I didn't want to be in a wheelchair. I didn't want, I wasn't letting go that easily. I just wasn't. So instead, I just stayed in bed. I rested. I called in the angels. And I had someone say some of the most healing and loving and kind words that I have heard. That I really haven't heard them. I really haven't ever had anyone say to me, you do not have to do this alone. You do not have to do this alone. It was an invitation into a healing circle. Yeah, yeah. So I allowed myself into that healing circle and I allowed myself to receive love of the highest degree from others. And I can tell you today, for the first time in 9 years, I am on day 11 of being totally pain free. I'm living without pain. And it's changed my entire life, inwardly and outwardly. I built my life, everything I've done, every, the way that I've done everything has been built and done and walked through based on the pain that I carried for 9 years, day in, day out, with every breath. Because I had this belief that without it, I would be stuck. I would be paralyzed. Just think about that for a minute. Because for years, I believed that pain meant I was safe. And somewhere, maybe through the gratitude, it became part of my identity, right? And I hadn't really realized that until it was gone. Now, when I walk up to a set of stairs, I can feel my body, my physical body, respond to those stairs by tightening up, by hesitating, by bracing itself. And I literally have to say, relax, let it go. This step is not going to hurt. I don't know what pains everyone has carried through their life. I don't know what the cause of those pains were. I don't know how long you've been carrying them. I don't know who told you they would never go away. I don't know what you had to tell yourself day in and day out in order to make it through, in order to continue being loving, kind, generous. But this isn't just me. This isn't just me and my pain and some miracle that just occurred. This is a collective energy. There's a collective that has built their life and made their decisions and chosen their paths based on something so big, maybe, and a belief that it would never leave, and that if it did, you wouldn't be able to live or walk or move without it. The tower. I feel like that was the identity and the beliefs I built around that accident. Because for 9 years, I learned how to survive. I adapted. I found gratitude. I learned to walk, to love, to be loved, to embody that love through the pain. But I also built this belief that the pain meant that I was safe. And that was my box. So for me, this rewilding isn't about healing my back, right? It was about remembering who I was before that belief, right? Before survival trained into my body, into an automatic response, before survival became my story. You know, I often say to my husband, oh man, if we'd have met before I broke my back, if you'd known me before I broke my back, that part of me was just urging, like, wanted out. It wanted to be free of that pain. And we have the Ten of Wands here. And I think this might be my favorite card here in the reading. Look at her. Usually, this card means burden, right? It's like someone carrying or pushing a whole stack of wands, some of them almost twice their size, you know? It's about being overwhelmed or that back breaking energy where you just feel like you can't walk another step, you can't push forward another moment. But she's not carrying a bunch of sticks, she's carrying flowers, right? Even beautiful things can become heavy. Our service to others can become heavy. Healing can become heavy. Just like responsibilities can become heavy. Our purpose can become heavy when we believe we must carry everything alone. And sometimes I feel like we become so accustomed to carrying burdens that it's like we begin carrying the beauty in exactly the same way. We carry our responsibilities, we carry our healing, we carry our past, we carry our gifts, we carry our purpose. Maybe for so long that even the things we love kind of feel like a weight. And I feel like Spirit's asking us, what if we were not meant to carry it, any of it? What if the key is the word carry? What if we were never meant to carry life on our back? What if we were meant to just simply live it? Just simply live it, to fall into the flow. The tower down here is at the bottom. It's at the foundation of the reading with the Ten of Wands. It's almost like spirits showing that this isn't something that just happened out of the blue, right? We've been carrying it beneath the surface. It's been happening for a long time. These are things we've carried for a long time. Maybe it was finding beauty in the pain. And this, if you look in this tower, there's no lightning bolt. She's embracing that tower and it's dissolving. She's embracing those changes and that structure is dissolving. It's like those old beliefs, right? Dissolving. This is what really changes my perspective of that tower. A lot of times we fear those towers, and I don't feel any fear. This isn't destruction. It's almost like liberating. It's liberation. That tower isn't destroying our life. It's dissolving the parts of it that kind of became our identity, right? How we identified with the world around us, with the people around us, with our own personal lives. It's like it's collapsing this identity that was built to survive the tower. And, you know, at the same time that I became grateful for that pain, right? I'm not saying that it was wrong. I know it wasn't wrong. I found gratitude for that. I found love for that. I honored it. And I love those parts of me that were able to carry it, right? And not become it, not have it become me. But I can see where I started to mistake it for who I was, who I would always be. So the miracle for me isn't that the pain just disappeared. The miracle is in realizing that I no longer need that pain to remind me that I'm alive. I no longer need to suffer to prove I'm healing. It's like no longer needing survival, right? Those things that we survived that we've sort of taken on as an identity, something that defined who we are. And it may have been subtle. It may have been something you had to work for, right? It took time. It took practice. It took patience. It took forgiveness of self. Yeah, that may have felt like a rewilding in its own. But I feel like this is really remembering our original design, that untainted blueprint, right? That divine design, not the conditioning that we've been through. And this rewilding isn't about rebellion or recklessness or chaos or becoming untamed, right? This rewilding, it's almost like coming back home to ourself, becoming more natural in a natural flow with life. I mean, if you think about it, right? An oak tree doesn't force itself to become an oak, it doesn't have to strive. A river doesn't have to strive to become a river. Hawks and eagles don't have to strive to become hawks and eagles. They just simply are. They just simply express their true nature. They don't try to become something else. They don't try to force themselves. And maybe this is really more about us remembering our true nature, allowing it to come forward, to dissolve the old identity, to dissolve the old beliefs that of who we are or would be without that striving. And I'm not asking anyone here to interpret this exactly like I am, right? I just know what this has meant for me. I know what love, hope, prayer, perseverance, beauty, peace, balance, gratitude. I know what those have meant in my life. And healing can kind of continue to unfold in ways we don't always expect, right? And love really does have the power to carry us further than we ever thought we could go, further than our fears. And some of you may have made plans or created goals or set intentions and built an entire life around a belief that was formed through pain. And you might have accepted survival as part of living. And there's nothing wrong with that because survival is sacred. It carried us here. And some of you may now be experiencing a transformation that is so profound that all your well meaning, love filled intentions and goals and plans and identities appear to be falling apart at the seams, right? Because that pain leaving my body has changed everything. Today, my goals, my intentions, my plans look nothing like they did yesterday. Not that I stopped loving things, stopped being passionate about them, but there's liberation in it, right? My goal may have been to take a vacation, but it would have only been 3.5 hours away because that's all my body could handle. It's all I could handle. But without that old identity, I can vacation as far away as I want. Just by going with the flow. I'm not questioning where it went or why it went or how it went. I'm just saying sometimes when this tower comes in, it comes in quietly beneath the surface. And it's not always explosive, it's not always chaotic, it's not always dramatic. But it changes the expression of who we are in this life in every aspect. And sometimes it's not about falling apart. Sometimes it's just about those parts of ourselves dissolving, falling away, right? It's like spirits gently removing the burden. But it seems sudden to others because now our goals, our dreams, our plans, everything changes. The way we walk, the way we move, the way we carry ourselves, the tone of our voice, it changes. I really invite everyone today that is still here listening to this to ask yourself, what part of me has survived so well that I have mistaken it for who I am? And if spirit removed that burden, who would I become? What would my life look like? Can I see myself there? Because I feel like that is the rewilding question. You know, ecologists, I looked this up. Ecologists use the word rewilding to describe restoring an ecosystem so that it may return to its own natural intelligence, right? You don't have to teach a forest how to grow. You just remove what was preventing it from growing to begin with. And then life begins expressing its original design again. Maybe our souls are no different. Perhaps our story isn't always about gaining healing or creating new identities or becoming someone else or Maybe it's about a gradual removal of everything that convinced us that our original nature could never return. I really had to become someone different when that pain hit me for 9 years. Not because I was hiding anything, but because it was the only way I could make it through my day. So maybe healing's more about remembering what's always been alive, right? Maybe the wild you, the wild you have been searching for, it's always just quietly been waiting there inside all along. And the identity and the structures and the beliefs that have had you operating and setting intentions and goals, maybe it's just dissolving. Yeah, maybe it's all kind of falling apart. I split the deck here. We have the world. I'm going to put these here. We have the world here, and in the middle, we had the Queen of Wands. It's healing after a devastating injury. The Queen of Wands, without that pain, right? That rewilding. She's creating a whole new world. It's like everything coming full circle. It's like stepping into that freedom, following the joy and the abundance of the sun. The world is an abundant card, but it closes an old chapter and it closes it forever, and there's no going back. Because when you've lived for 9 years, like I have, and perhaps some of you have lived with your pain for much longer, but when you've lived and carried that pain within you and still been able to find the joy, still smiled through it, still lived and gave to others and cared for yourself as you were caring for others, when that pain has gone, there's no going back. There's no going back. It is true liberation from within, and then it begins to manifest all around us as a new world, as a new life, as a new identity, not brand new. It's our original nature. Our true nature was never designed to carry pain for so long that it became our identity. Whatever the injury was that caused that pain, this is the Ten of Swords. Notice they're going into the crown. And look at how beautiful the crown is, right? It's beliefs, it's thoughts. There's been a lot of readings lately about finding the beauty within the pain. And I feel like a lot of us have done that. And now that we have, the pain is being dissolved. And it changes everything. Everything. Nothing looks the same. Our dreams, our goals, our hopes. Right? Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Splitting it again, we have the Fool. It's new beginnings, an entirely new beginning. And what I love, and I'm not going to look at the card under it, what I love about this Fool card is that while she's taking that leap, while she's going on that new adventure, while she's allowing the child within to bring out that wonder and awe in life and embrace the newness, she's also standing on what appears to be a snake. And she's aware of it. She's aware of it. The danger, the consequences. But she's not letting it stop her. Perhaps it's about moving forward, right? I'll use my back as an example. The pain is gone, and I am ever so grateful, and it has changed the way I see everything, everything within me and everything around me. It's changed everything. And while I take this new leap, right, into this new world, into this new earth, this new freedom, this liberation, I am aware of the consequences of carrying pain, of doing those things that I know are not good for me. I know that, but I'm not letting it stop me. Let's see if we can get, I've still got it. I'll take one spirit animal card to read. Oh, looks like koala spirit wanted to fall out on top. And the butterfly spirit transformation is beautiful, is on the bottom of the deck. That transformation, that butterfly spirit is number 11. Koala spirit is number 35. I want to read that 35. Let's go with koala spirit because it just jumped out. Koala spirit. Spirit has a plan. In nature, the koala moves slowly through the branches of the eucalyptus tree, leisurely chewing the leaves, reminding us that life is not a race or competition. Chasing around after every distraction can keep us from recognizing that we have all we need and that Spirit will always be there with gifts to sustain us. You are being asked to trust that by moving slowly with faith in the abundance that is everywhere, surrendering to a power greater than yourself, you will be able to experience the manifestation of your desire. As you take your time enjoying the riches available to you right now, sitting peacefully, you begin to radiate the joy and abundance you seek. Spirit is here to help you discover happiness, pleasure, and contentment, all gifts that are yours now and in the future. Have faith and trust in Spirit's plan for you, and know that you are loved and cherished. The protection message. Are you feeling uneasy and mistrustful of the world? Have you been hiding in a safe spot, afraid to venture out because you're convinced that life and other people will disappoint you? Koala Spirit has appeared to let you know that your faith is misplaced. The present safety you seek is already passing away, because all things are temporary and outer conditions are always changing. Find your safety by placing your faith and trust in Spirit, who will grow the abundance that is already yours. Perhaps you are acting slowly and overly cautious because you lack faith that there is more for you out there than what you know. You may have boxed yourself into a safe place that has nothing else to give you and become so familiar with it that you have often forgotten to explore. Are you feeling pessimistic and convinced there is nothing more out there for you? Koala Spirit reminds you that self-care is meant to replenish you so that you can venture out again in faith, trusting that there is no limit to the joy Spirit wants you to experience. Be good to yourself and reconnect with Spirit to reclaim your faith in things yet unseen. As allowing Spirit to remove the swords, having faith that while we may be able to find the beauty within us through these moments of pain, knowing they are temporary. And I get it. 9 years didn't feel very temporary to me. It felt permanent. It felt like it would never leave. That I was already living the best of the life that I could live with the pain. And it took a lot of self-care. It took allowing others to care for me. Hardest thing I had to do was receive. Giving was so easy. And it wasn't until I stepped in that circle, that healing circle, and opened my heart and allowed myself to receive love of the highest degree, to receive that miracle energy, no matter how impossible it looked. I did a reading here not long ago, and I can't remember the name of it, but Spirit had mentioned stepping into a pain-free life. And I sat and I contemplated that for a long time. Is that pain free spiritually? Is it pain free mentally? Is it pain free emotionally? I hesitated in believing that it could be pain free physically because I had carried that pain for so long. Many times, Spirit has a plan to liberate us from the very thing we think is impossible. And it's like they're asking us to be open to a rewilding, an opportunity to step into your own true nature, liberated, free. Now, to create that world, right? That Queen of Wands, she's a master manifester. She has a whole new world to create. And it's going to take faith with the awareness. The awareness is not the identity of the past. I want to thank you all for being here. And if this resonated with you, claim your rewilding. Drop it in the comments. My rewilding is here. Right? So I am now going to return your energy to you, pure and whole, as I receive my energy back, pure and whole, so that only love remains. And peace.